Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And we're talking with one of the top entrepreneurs in the lake area here. It's James Rericha, right? I just learned how to say his name. Right. So how do you say that name? Rericha, and it's Rericha. I bet you've heard some interesting pronunciations of that name.
Oh, it made it rough in grade school, let me tell you.
I bet that's for sure and for certain. So you are the owner of R Veterinary, right? All over the lake area. How did you get into the veterinary business?
Well, my wife's been working there for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity to buy it from Dr. Wilsman and when he was ready to retire. And so we bought one clinic. And over time, we've listened to opportunities from other practitioners that are approaching retirement and have made opportunities for them to retire. And we've got clinics in Waynesville and Laurie, Columbia, Ashland, and Fenton, Missouri.
Wow, you guys are really growing amazingly fast. And I'm guessing your wife works there. She has to be an animal lover, right?
That's right, 24/7.
Yeah. Now, is she a doctor? Is she a nurse? What does she do?
She is a veterinarian.
Okay.
You know, it took 8 years of school.
Cool.
She had to apply twice to get into the vet school because it's very competitive.
Yeah.
We're looking for some amazing vets to come join our team.
Wow.
We have Dr. Rachel Radlin, who's worked there for almost 20 years at this point. Since her graduation, she had a few years up at Lake Pet, but we have some amazing practitioners all over the lake.
Wow.
And we're glad to have them here.
Absolutely. That's very cool. And looking for more.
That's right.
As you guys continue to grow. And you also have a really growing family, a young family. Let's see, you've got, 4 kids, 3 boys and a girl. And I think, how do you find the time to work with 4 kids?
It's quite the challenge sometimes, but you know, it's all about finding the moments to make your time valuable, whether you're working or whether you're playing. So,
Yeah.
We've got a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and so that keeps us busy. We have a wonderful nanny, Karina, and we love every minute we get to spend with them on the water. They'll definitely be involved in the business as they continue to get older as well.
Absolutely, yeah. That'd just give you an opportunity to spend more time with them in that way. And you actually grew up on a farm in Missouri. So first of all, do you miss farming? Do you miss that life?
I was very young when I lived on the farm.
Okay.
But born and raised in Tebbets, Missouri, which is a fairly small town, about 250 people. My grandfather was your typical farmer who, had both corn, soybeans, some cattle, some pig, and as that's all evolved, it's become large corporations for the most part. But it was awesome to experience that as a young kid.
Yeah.
It's his work ethic, the work ethic of my father. These people have all owned and operated their own business, and it's encouraged me to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a part of you. It's in your blood. Whenever I've been around you or watched you, you're never stop working, number one, but it seems like you enjoy whatever you're doing at that time, whether it was out at the Laurie Mall and you were, I don't know what you were doing. You were building something in the back or cleaning something, but it looked like you were enjoying it. You were having fun with the process.
Absolutely. I don't see any challenge too big to tackle.
Yeah.
I ask myself all the time, why not us? You might see someone like Jack Welsh managing GE. Why not have that here locally? Why not have a large company that supports its employees, supports its community here at Lake of the Ozarks?
Yeah.
And so we've continued to try to grow in several different business ventures.
Stunningly fast. I mean, the way you guys have grown. And you kind of have a personal goal that goes along with that, to create jobs for other people. What is that goal?
Many people knew I ran for commissioner about 4 years ago. And I'm sorry, almost 8 years ago now. Time's flying.
Time flies, right?
But, one of my goals was having a big impact here. And so I've shifted that goal to, how do we create as many jobs as possible in our community here that, again, are year-round support, have great benefits, support our community, because I think that's the engine of our economy, and so our employees. And so we need people who are willing to take a risk, to invest in the community, to keep jobs here, to go after these businesses, to keep them local, to draw them in. You know, we can have a world-renowned headquarters here for veterinary. We could, tackle technology problems. We have amazing programs in robotics at our high school that are turning out students with knowledge that is competitive with anywhere else in the state or country. And so we're currently working with an intern there to develop some new products that I can't talk about what the product is today.
Right.
But this intern is getting to work on those products. And so, if everything goes well over this semester, we would like to turn it into a job opportunity for this intern. So I think, again, building, I'd love to be able to say, hey, I created the most number of jobs in our community someday. And so I look at big employers like Walmart or COMC or Lake Regional in our community and look to them as, that's a goal, that's a challenge. Like, how do we exceed that?
Right.
And I think we can, but we have to be good to our employees. We have to, have good benefits and treat them well. And so that's what we've been working on.
Absolutely. And another goal of yours is more affordable housing in the area. And we'll talk more about that. We're talking with James Rericha from R Vet, owner of R Vet and involved with several local businesses. Pretty amazing. We'll have more with James right after this. If you love the lake, you gotta love Lake TV. Central Ozarks Medical Center, voted Missouri's best and best at the lake, is recruiting team members due to growth. Amazing employment opportunities for both medical and non-medical positions with competitive salaries and outstanding perks. For more information, go to the Careers tab at centralozarks.org. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Join a leader. Join our team. COMC, where your health is our mission. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the Polar Plunge to festivals, parades, Aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the Shootout. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center. So we're talking with James Rericha. He is the owner of R Veterinary and several local businesses here in the Lori Mall, which is growing amazingly over there. So we were talking earlier about it's one of your goals to create more jobs in the community than anybody else. And you're also working on more affordable housing. So what's going on with that? What are you doing in that area?
So in my prior life, I'm a licensed professional engineer. I have a degree in architectural engineering.
Wow.
And so we saw an opportunity to purchase some land just north of Camdenton that was originally developed in 2007 with, or even before that, with plans, and it has water and sewer and buried power already. So we're working through the process of what it takes to potentially put additional housing on there. So with a lot of infrastructure in place, and that's a big cost a lot of times, is how do we fund this infrastructure?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It's still very early in the process, but we would argue any housing that we can add that is potentially like the new housing going up off of Case Road or Nichols Road there in Osage Beach. It adds to the housing supply. And so anything that adds to the housing supply in a great number like that, specifically not on the water, but we're talking about apartment housing, duplex housing, workforce housing, all of that will help keep rents in check across the full market.
Sure, and very, very, very needed here in our area right now. So, I mean, you have your hands in all of these different businesses, very successful businesses. Successful people usually need some sort of a stress reliever. How do you get away from it? How do you relieve that stress?
My biggest joy is to go flying. And so flying takes a lot of attention to the gauges and to the environment around you. And so if I want to be able to turn that switch off, I'll go up and fly a plane for a little bit. It takes all of my attention. I don't think about anything else. I've flown a 4-seat plane all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida before and back.
Wow.
It's about an hour flight, so it's not any quicker than driving sometimes, but it's very enjoyable.
Wow. So, you're an engineer, you're a pilot, you're an entrepreneur. There's kind of not much that you don't do, is there? Are you afraid of spiders or anything like that?
I will be honest, I have never had a biology class in my life. And my wife is a biology major with a veterinary degree, and maybe that's why we work so well together. But if it comes to the biology side, I couldn't answer the question.
So you were telling me, or I was reading your bio, and you've got a big young family, as we were talking about a few minutes ago. 4 kids, 3 boys and a girl. You had quite a scare with one of the boys right after he was born. You went through a really scary time there.
Yeah, our 3-year-old was born with a congenital diaphragmatic hernia. And so that's where a lot of the intestines and liver were up in the space where the lungs are supposed to develop.
Wow.
And so within the first minutes of being born, he went on a ventilator. And this was during the time of COVID. So we were worried, is there going to be ventilators available? We didn't know what was going on with COVID at the time, and they were talking about shortages. So this was, in June of 2020.
Yeah.
So a big scare. We went to Children's Hospital in St. Louis. He was born there. He stayed on a ventilator for a few weeks. He was on a heart and lung bypass machine.
Wow.
For 7 days. And they gave us a 50-50 prognosis. We knew about it going in, from ultrasounds. We knew about going into it, but we had an amazing team back here that kept things together while we spent the better part of 3 months at the NICU up there.
Wow. That'll bring things into perspective, won't it? When you have a child that's life and death like that, that pretty much puts it all in perspective, doesn't it?
Well, and I can tell you, I used to be on the fence about whether you have health insurance, but I can tell you it was a blessing that we did, because the bills were in the millions for that, and health insurance covered a huge chunk of that.
Doesn't take long either, does it?
That's right.
Okay, so along with so many other businesses, R Veterinary and whatnot, you also own the Lori Mall, and that thing seems to be really rounding into shape, coming along. Some great people up there in the mall, and more people moving in all the time.
Well, we have to thank COMC, one of our anchor tenants up there. We've picked it up from a couple other entrepreneurs in the area. Again, we wanted to keep it local. Mm-hmm. We've been working with several local businesses to grow the offerings in that mall. We've got some open space in the basement for some additional business or light industrial.
Yeah.
I believe we're going to have some new tenants coming online upstairs in the following months, but I don't want to surprise anything that they have to say.
Right.
But I think we'll be awesome to the community, and we have bigger plans to hopefully add a community space in the future to the mall as well.
Yeah, and on top of all that, and we're down to our last minute and a half here, but you're also into the recording studio business?
So I've joined, again, another couple of entrepreneurs that have been in the Lake area for the last 30 years. David Atkins and Tim Thompson have run a very successful custom furniture manufacturing in the recording studio space. They've been in various locations through Osage Beach. They're currently manufacturing out of Eldon. But if you didn't talk to your neighbors or learn about what else is in the community, we have so many other businesses.
Yeah.
And we have that. I talked to another gentleman who invented a new controller for boat lifts. And so we're working on partnering with them to help launch that product and be able to control your boat lift from your phone.
Wow. And that would be pretty popular around here, I would think.
That's right. You want to know if your boat's going down or if someone's taking your boat out, and it'll give you an alert.
Yeah, there you go. Or, you're up the lake and you're coming in, you can just start moving that lift up.
You don't have to wait.
That is so cool. Okay, so it's James Rericha, owner of R Vet and the Lori Mall and all these other businesses. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to have you come back because there's so much more to talk about if we can find the time.
I appreciate it.
Okay. If folks want to get some more information about you, how do they go about that?
Anybody can email me at james@r.vet.
Okay.
Or you can ask around. I'm quite involved.
Pretty much everybody knows you.
So
yeah, absolutely. Right.
I'd be glad to meet with anybody and help them out.
What a blessing. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. And thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.